My name is DeMar Walker, and my film is called The Refrain, and it is the second installment in my dance short film series. It chronicles this journey that I've created through this character who is a traveling performer who literally places himself in this abandoned theater. And it sort of shows him going through this personal journey of him being on stage, and it speaks to themes of self validation and belonging, and really just giving me the opportunity to sort of dive into what it's like to really be a performing artist. And yeah, it's been quite interesting doing this film as it's just me. The first film was a collaboration with me and a friend of mine by the name of Destiny Fletcher, The Beckoning. But this one is way more raw and vulnerable. And I had a really, really great time doing this one and learned quite a bit about myself too.
Your film, The Beckoning, was the first film in this series, and we played it at the film festival back in 2021,
Hmm.
and you won Best Film.
Yes, I did.
This is a series, so the first film, The Beckoning, and this one, The Refrain, what ties these two themes together? And is there going to be more in this series?
Yeah, the theme really that I'm looking at is all through these films is sort of like a response to a lot of social issues. The first film, The Beckoning, was really like a response to what was happening at the time, and that was like during the height of like the Black Lives Matter movement, and just so much of what was happening all throughout the city, and just our response to it. And I really wanted to capture sort of what it would look like to bring once again me and a collaborator together to sort of like bring movement and poetry together in this really unique way. Um, this film in particular is really about kind of what happens when one sort of like internalizes those social sort of like expectations, and sort of going through how I would argue a lot of Black people sort of navigate the world through sort of like various identities. And I know for a lot of artists, it's something that we take a lot of pride in and say, like, I'm a dancer or I'm an actor. But oftentimes, we don't get to sort of see like the inner kind of workings, and I would say the inner turmoil that happens when one is sort of like declaring oneself as such. And so with the refrain in particular, I wanted to show these very vulnerable moments of what is it like to be in practice, and sort of have that mirror as a form of like social life. Um, and it's really sort of like me breaking the fourth wall, as we talk about in theater, where people get to sort of see me show up in like all of my messiness and uncertainty, Ross. And yeah, it's one of those things that I say I sort of like turn the camera even more inward onto myself as I'm exploring a lot of these themes um of, like I said, belonging and self-validation, um and just like self-trust, while at the same time giving me the opportunity to really sort of delve deeper into my practice, which has evolved a lot since the last time I think we connected in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's just sort of like a continuation of me responding to what I'm sort of picking up, um, these messages that I'm picking up throughout the world, and what I'm sort of like how I'm giving it back to people through film.
Are you going to do another one and maybe a couple more? Is this an evolution of an idea going through multiple films?
I think so, Ross. Yes. I think when I first started doing film, The Beckoning was my first film I had ever done. Um, it was something that I said, this is great. And I think I'm just sort of scratching the surface with what I could potentially do. And so, sort of in the middle of creating that, I would say around maybe post of The Beckoning, I was sort of thinking like, I wonder what this could be like as a series. So I think so. I think like a lot of artists, always got a lot of ideas circling through my head. So who knows what will come for the third one? But yeah, I definitely foresee it continuing as a series. So who knows how long it'll go.
Yeah. When I saw the film, I liked it a lot. When you see this person dance on stage,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like he's looking to please people.
Mm-hmm.
And then he looks out there and it's an empty audience,
Mm-hmm.
an empty theater. And sometimes the look on your face makes it seem like you couldn't please anyone. So
Mm,
that's what I got a little bit from it.
yeah, I appreciate you for saying that. I think that in itself speaks to what I mentioned about the social expectations, right? Where specifically for dancers, it's like you work so hard to create this really like perfect moment. But I mean, Ross, you and I both know there's no such thing as perfection.
Mhm.
So what happens when you work so hard, but like the outcome isn't what you expected? So you sort of are trying to receive some sense of validation through the applause, through some sort of reaction. But really, at the core of all of what we do, it should be a sense of saying, like, I do this because I truly want to and I enjoy it. And I should be only seeking my own approval in a lot of ways. But yet at the same time, the way that the world is set up, it's like well, as a dancer, you gotta train, and someone is telling you like, no, your foot is not flexed or arched, a certain way, or you're in front of people for auditions and they're telling you like, yeah, I mean, you're great, but like you don't have the look that we're going for. So it's all of these social expectations. So it's kind of like, how do you sift through all of that? And then realizing that even in those moments when you are alone by yourself, what are you saying to yourself? And you see me work through that a little bit uh, in the film. And so, and what I appreciate you saying is me looking out into the audience. My facial expressions say things to the point of I want the audience or the viewer for the film to sort of discern what is it that DeMar is really sort of like expressing right here
Mhm.
in a lot of instances, and I'm just leaving it up to interpretation. I can sort of get a gist of what I think people would sort of like confer from the film, but ultimately it's just left up into interpretation. So, like I said, it's really intimate, really vulnerable, and I think it's a great sort of continuation uh, from The Beckoning.
I'm looking at your bio here.
Mm-hmm.
It says you're also a poet.
I am.
You're a filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Dance is a performance, so you're a performer too.
Yes.
Then you got the spoken word. So I'm wondering, have you thought of making a film where it's more dramatic and giving a dra- drama performance without the dance?
Oh, no, I haven't. And what's so interesting is I minored in theater in undergrad, and I always kind of felt like the theatrical, the stuff I just sort of kept for the stage. But I
I
mean,
was just seeing if you wanted to expand in other areas of filmmaking too.
yeah. Uh, I don't know. That's a really good question. I feel like you put me on the spot a little bit. I'm gonna take some time to reflect on it. I think I've been spending a lot of time kind of in this space with my filmmaking. I mean, of course, you know this, Ross, how expensive filmmaking is. So it's been great creating these dance short films. Because it allowed me to sort of like skill stack, right?
Hmm.
Create from this place of that's very comfortable for me, but allowing it to sort of like morph into something else. Um, I've always kind of like kept, I guess, like the stage theatrical side of me kind of separate. But I mean, you see elements of it in both films. I would say that I would even argue that for even for the refrain, even though I call it a dance short film, I don't even know if dance is necessarily like at the core of the film as much as you're seeing a character who just so happens to be dancing. Because I think you see a lot of elements of me like on the stage where I'm just sitting and looking out into the abandoned theater, looking into the audience. So those are very much in tandem with a lot of my theatrical background. So I'm just bringing like all of the mediums together in this way. But yeah, like I hadn't thought about it until you mentioned it. Like I don't know. I'll definitely think about it some more, Ross, for sure. Yeah.
One last question. Where was the film shot?
Oh, this is a great question. The film, the refrain was shot at the Peoria Women's Club.
Oh, okay.
So shout out to Derek Schmitt, who's my cinematographer, and he edited as well with my assistance. I had this idea because I kept thinking about this idea of like finding home, and I keep thinking about that phrase in particular when it comes to my practice and the way that it evolves. It's been evolving, and I was just like, I would really love to shoot the next film in like a theater. And I tried to like find as best as I could something here in Milwaukee, but like it just didn't work out. And I talked to Derek and he was like, so like I just came from a shoot down in Peoria and like they're doing a lot of renovations right now. And I think what you're looking for is ideal for the second film. And I was like, stop lying. And he said, no, no, seriously, DeMar. And so he sent me some pictures and he was able to make the connections. And so we drove down last summer and we shot everything in one day. And yeah, the rest is history. So shout out to the Peoria Women's Club.
Well, thank you for doing this today.
Yeah, thank you, Ross. I appreciate it.